Megan Shooter here. I'm back with the Remington 700 or 770, excuse me, in the 300 Win Mag, and as you can see, I got a new scope for it, and I'm very happy about that. Let me show you. It is not loaded. Now, look down the barrel there. You can see it is empty. Okay, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's go ahead and close this up. So what we have here is a UTG 4:16 by 50 scope. Now it does come with the flip caps, as you can see the front there, and there is here in the back as well. They are removable, just like with the one I have for the AR-15. This will allow you to adjust out from 50 all the way on out, I'm sorry, from 10 yards all the way on out to 150 yards, and then it goes to the infinite for a little further. It, much like the AR-15 scope that I have, has the lock for the adjustments for windage and for elevation. This one is currently sighted in for this rifle now, and we'll get into that. It has the adjustment to the rear for the for distance for the 4-16 power. You have your parallax adjustment up front, and then of course your elevation here in the back and your windage here on the side. Much like the other scope that I showed in my other video, the 3 to 9 by 32. This one does have the adjustments here and here for windage and for the elevation. They are zeroable, so what you can do is once you set them to whatever distance you want to be your zero, then you unscrew the top cap here. There is a screw here in the top. You unscrew that 2 turns, and then you lift on the barrel or on the adjustment. It disengages, and then you can turn it to 0, push it back down, and then tighten that screw back down. That way you always know where 0 is. This did come with the mounts I'm using, which are high mounts, which is good for this rifle. It is mil-dot. Now I will try to get some video and put it in here, but it is mil-dot, and you can do black, which is the standard, and then of course you have an adjustment here on the side that allows you to do red. It'll allow you to do green, and the unusual one, blue, which almost looks like a black light in there. And that allows for it to illuminate the red dot, or the crosshairs. And then of course if you leave it off, you have your standard black. Now when I was sighting it in, it was extremely easy to sight in because as you turn the adjustment, you very clearly feel each tick and mil adjustment on this. You can hear it, but while you're shooting, you're probably not going to have as much ability to hear it. You're going to be able to feel it more. So when I adjust this, it actually is pretty crisp, and it did adjust it very cleanly to a good, it did adjust the position of the shoot very cleanly. When I mounted it, it was at a pretty good elevation. It was just slightly low, but it was way off to one side. I did have to bring it in. I believe it was shooting to the right. I did have to bring it in quite a bit. But once I did, it stayed on target. I shot probably about, and this is in 300 Win Mag now, I shot probably about 15 rounds, 16 rounds, and from as soon as I got it sighted in within the first 3 shots, it stuck to that point of aim, did not adjust, did not pull off, did not move for that entire session of shooting. Brought it back, checked the aim point with a laser again, still seemed pretty clear. Obviously it's not going to be right on, but it seemed pretty straight from where I checked it at the range to when I got it home. So it's a very tight system. It's a very well put together. It feels quite heavy. It is aluminum. The front flip up protective cover here is removable. You can easily remove it. And then there is a piece here on the front that you can unscrew, and there's a shade that extends out to about here that it came with. And you can attach that and then put this on again. And this, unlike the other one, does actually fit. It's unlike the AR-15, it does actually fit on the shade. I thought it was a little much to put on there, and I don't plan on doing too much shooting right now outside. I did take it to an indoor range down the way, but eventually I will be taking it outside, and I may use the shade at that point. But this is actually a pretty decent setup. The only complaint I might have on this is, unlike the back, where if you make your adjustment, it doesn't move the flip up, the parallax on the front, as you turn it, you actually end up turning your cap. So it's a little annoying, but nothing that is a downer as far as the actual scope. The scope is actually a pretty decent setup. It's very clear, very crisp. Even at a couple hundred yards, it seems like it's very easily, you can easily get your point of aim, and you can easily see very far distances with the magnification available on it. It's a very inexpensive scope, though. I believe this one cost me about $80, and it seems pretty sturdy. When mounting it went pretty easy. It only took a few minutes. And adjusting it in at the range, obviously, is pretty much a standard setup. You take your first couple of shots, move it to using the equation, the MILDOT or MOA equations, you are able to move it into where you need it to be. And then you do a couple more test shots, make sure it's straight on, it's where it needs to be. If it isn't, then you make more adjustments. While I was there, it actually took only a few adjustments to get it in, locked it in, and I have to then bring the, now I'm going to have to zero it. I just haven't done that part yet. I did test the Illumination, and at the range I go to, which is an indoor range, the Illumination, it seemed like a little much. I would think in dusk hours it might work better for you at a light illumination, but it seemed very distracting to have it on in the range that I was in. It's kind of a darker environment. But the target area is actually very well illuminated, so it didn't seem like it was worth it for that. But have you guys tried any of this stuff? What is your experience with any kind of the UTG scopes? Go ahead and let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, share, and go ahead and leave me a comment. This is Pagan Shooter. Till next time.